Hello guys, welcome back to TFD, and today we've got something new to dive into. You already know how it goes. Every time we think the WNBA agenda talk is finally starting to calm down, somebody in the league says something that pours gasoline right back on the fire. And once again, surprise, surprise, it's connected to Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White. Now look, you guys already know I've been pointing out this agenda pattern for months. It's not a conspiracy, it's not reaching, it's literally right there in plain sight. And sure enough, we've got fresh comments coming straight from an interview Stephanie White did with Sue Bird. And let me tell you right now, the agenda is all over it. I mean, it's practically leaking out of the video. Because here's the truth. The WNBA does not like actual, traditional, everyday sports fans entering their league. They don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to handle pushback. They don't want people asking questions. They want an echo chamber, full of fans who clap at whatever message they push, no matter how far it drifts from basketball. But real sports fans, they're not playing that game. Regular sports fans tune in to watch pick and rolls, shooting percentages, coaching adjustments, rotations, not political messaging, movements, slogans, or whatever cause of the week the league is promoting. And honestly, that's perfectly reasonable. When you turn on a basketball game, you want basketball. Simple. Even Adam Silver figured that out. Remember when he went on Good Morning America a couple years ago? He literally said, yeah, we're done with the political logos on the court. We're done flooding broadcasts with political messages. Why? Because fans walked away. Ratings tanked across all sports during that BLM heavy stretch, and the NBA eventually course-corrected. But the WNBA? Nope. They refuse to let go. They are determined to keep the politics front and center, even if fans leave, even if ratings suffer, even if players get attacked or argued about online. And unfortunately, Stephanie White seems to be locked in on that same track. And that's really the issue here. Because in the WNBA right now, if you're just a sports fan, someone who simply wants basketball without the political sermon, you're automatically labeled toxic. They treat you like the bad guy for not wanting the message forced down your throat. And don't get it twisted. We're not talking about supporting cancer research or helping kids read or doing genuinely positive community work. We're talking about forcing fans to participate in social and political agendas they never asked for and never came for. And honestly, it's getting worse. Because here's something nobody wants to touch, but we're going to talk about it. These romantic relationships between players on opposing teams, this is a real conflict of interest. This is not me reaching. There is active gambling on WNBA games. Fans are putting real money on spreads, props, in-game totals, all of it. So if two players on a rival teams are dating, how is that not a problem? How is that not at least something the league should take seriously? How is this not even being discussed? If this were the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the conversation would be everywhere. People would be asking tough questions. Reporters would be all over it. Gambling regulators would get involved. But in the WNBA, they act like nothing is happening. They're so consumed with their messaging, their causes, and trying to dictate what fans should care about that they ignore the most basic issues of competitive integrity. And that brings us right back to Stephanie White. Because when you're so wrapped up in promoting an agenda, how can any fan truly believe every basketball decision is purely about basketball? Who gets minutes? Who gets benched? Who gets protected? Who gets elevated? Is that based on performance? Or is that based on maintaining the league's preferred narrative? And honestly, I don't think they can separate the two. I really don't. The messaging and the basketball are bleeding into each other. And that's dangerous for the integrity of the league. At the end of the day, fans deserve transparency. Fans deserve real competition. Fans deserve a league that puts the game before the agenda. And until somebody in the WNBA leadership steps up and says, we're focusing on basketball first, the concerns are going to keep coming. And you better believe those concerns should continue to be called out.
So look at this here. Said Stephanie White calls out toxicity while breaking down WNBA changes needed.
Here said,
the WNBA experiencing massive growth over the past couple of years is undeniably a good thing. In fact, there's a case to be made that this boom couldn't have come at a better time for the league, given that the Players Association is currently negotiating with the WNBA league office for the next CBA. It should be noted, do you honestly believe Adam Silver could have parlayed the media rights deal into a $2.2 billion package without all these so-called toxic regular sports fans who showed up? Of course not. Absolutely not. These fans pushed your ratings into places the league had never sniffed before and would not be sniffing now without them. I mean, we literally saw the ratings fall off a cliff the moment Caitlin Clark got hurt. If women's basketball hadn't experienced this explosion in popularity, which is largely owed to players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Buckers entering the spotlight and driving attention, it's hard to imagine WNBA players getting the massive salary increases they're about to receive through the new CBA. Actually, let me clean that up even more for you. This boom is largely owed to Caitlin Clark. Period. Full stop. Stop overcomplicating it. Stop pretending otherwise. Enough with the nonsense. But with all this attention on women's basketball, not everything has been positive. With millions of new fans flocking to the sport, it has brought a wave of negativity towards select players, especially on social media. Much of the discourse surrounding teams, players, and rivalries now breeds nastiness and tribalism that players get caught in the middle of. No, that's not accurate. Your players choose to personally jump into these social media battles. Don't act like this is some unique crisis. You think tribalism isn't part of every sports league in America on social media? Are you kidding? Of course it is. Stop it. That narrative is absurd. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White appeared on the December 5th episode of Bird's Eye View, hosted by Sue Bird. White was asked what changes she'd like to see in the WNBA and responded with a very telling message after talking about how the league has gone mainstream in recent years. Quote, "Some things I'd like to change. I'd like to change the toxicity around our league. I know that's not really a controllable factor. I love the fact that the women in our league are always at the forefront of social change. The message of sports in general, but women in particular, she basically came right out and said it, we want our league to continue being all about the agenda." Then she continued, "I think we want to continue to expand the footprint, to make sure the season is longer. It's tough with the calendar and everything we have to compete against, but these women deserve the opportunity to have this as their only job, number one, and to be able to play a true season, to have an off-season so their bodies can recover.
And hopefully, we won't see the same amount of injuries this season. But honestly, with the way things are going, who knows anymore? Because instead of focusing on conditioning, workload, scheduling, or actual basketball concerns, we've got people in the league basically admitting out loud that their priority is still pushing political agendas. I mean, that's literally what she just said. It's not even subtle at this point. And this is something Matrix and I have talked about behind the scenes for a while now. We've debated whether we should go back to covering everything, NBA, NFL, MLB, all the big sports like we used to, and maybe dial back on the WNBA content. Maybe only cover the major breaking stories. Maybe leave some of these topics alone entirely. But every time someone from the league opens their mouth and shows exactly why the sports world side-eyes the WNBA so often, I'm reminded why we're staying right here. Her message alone is enough reason for us not to go anywhere. No, the sports fans have arrived, and you're not going to push us out. You're not going to silence us. You're not going to censor us. You're not going to bully fans into clapping for things they don't agree with. Because here's the truth. This league is one of the most unprofessional operations I've seen in modern sports. The way they handle messaging, the way they handle criticism, the way they handle internal issues, it's wild. It's bizarre. It feels like every week they prove again that they're not ready for real national scrutiny. And guess what? I'm not shutting up about that. Not today, not next week, not ever. And now that gambling is in the mix, I definitely ain't shutting up. Because that flips the stakes. That makes all this stuff matter more than ever. You've got fans putting real money on these games. You've got lines, props, same-game parlays, all of it. And meanwhile, you've got players openly in romantic relationships across different teams. That's not me being dramatic. That's a legitimate conflict of interest. If this were the NFL or NBA and you had players dating opponents sharing insider details that could impact game outcomes, people would be screaming for federal oversight.
It's not
and honestly, if the government wasn't already busy with everything else, I'd be saying,
go down the roster and they
maybe
loved every
open an
single girl on the
investigation
team,
into the
whether they
WNBA's
played
gambling
40
environment.
minutes a night or whether
Because
they never got in the
people
game.
are
Like, there was
losing
still
their
a love and
hard-earned money
appreciation for
on
what they
games
brought,
where
and it's the same element
insiders
of the
know way too much. I bet I wasn't supposed to bring that up, right? That's the one topic everybody tiptoes around. Well, too bad. We're talking about it. Because here's the bottom line. The WNBA wants higher salaries, higher ratings, more attendance, more viewers. They want everything the bigger leagues have. But they want the fans to show up, cheer politely, and keep their mouths shut about all the problems. Not happening. Not now, not ever. There is a 0% chance, that fans like us are going to sit quietly while a league demands credibility but avoids accountability. We're staying right here, and we're going to keep calling it exactly how we see it. Don't forget, like and subscribe for daily update.